So there's an old adage, associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it's better to be alone than in bad company. Well, if that's the case, then Donald Trump's lawyers will never be alone. Unless you think that these lawyers are simply the collateral damage from being in Trump's world, think again. Because each and every one of them, past and present, has made the conscious decision to represent the twice impeached, quadruple indicted, disgraced one-term ex-president of the United States. They've gone in eyes wide open with full knowledge of the scope of the allegations about Trump's unscrupulous and, in some cases, criminal conduct, as well as his keen sense of self-preservation. There are rules of professional conduct that govern how lawyers are supposed to act, and the basics are the same no matter where you practice law. When you're a lawyer, no one forces you to represent a client. You don't surrender your free will when you decide to take on a client and their case. And by the same token, no one forces you to take an absurd, irrational, unreasonable position that isn't grounded in legitimate legal principles. For example, last week, during the oral arguments before the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals on Trump's presidential immunity claims, my jaw dropped in stunned disbelief when I heard the following exchange between Trump lawyer D. John Sauer, an accomplished Harvard Law-educated attorney who clerked for the United States Supreme Court, and federal appellate judge Florence Pan.
Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution?
If he were impeached and convicted first. And
so your answer is no.
I understand that every individual has the right to counsel, and that counsel has the duty and obligation to provide their client with zealous and competent representation. A lawyer also has to abide by a client's decisions when it comes to the objectives of that representation. The American Bar Association's model rules of professional conduct state that a lawyer's representation does not constitute an endorsement of the client's political, economic, social, or moral views or activities. But when it comes to Donald Trump, his lawyers not only are keeping bad company, but they are also risk having their professional reputations suffer from advancing Trump's case theories that are beyond the pale. By representing Trump, these lawyers are forever tainted. But you have to wonder, do Trump's lawyers ever stop to ask themselves, is it worth it? Is it worth losing your credibility for Donald Trump? Your reputation, it's all you have. Is it the fame? Is it the money? Well, that part's questionable, right? I mean, Trump is notorious for being sued for non-payment for services rendered. Let's take a look at a list of some Trump lawyers upon whom history will not look kindly. Rudy Giuliani, Jenna Ellis, Jeffrey Clark, John Eastman, Kenneth Chesebro, and Sidney Powell, to just name a few. For some, doing Donald Trump's bidding means you end up getting indicted. You lose your law license, you end up owing money, you end up having to hire lawyers to defend you in civil, criminal, and administrative cases. And after all is said and done, after you've suffered the humiliation and the shame of being branded a, quote, Trump lawyer, and you've suffered the repeated courtroom losses, well, that's when Trump throws you under the bus. Take Michael Cohen, the former personal attorney and fixer for Donald Trump. He was convicted for things he says Trump told him to do, and in return, he routinely receives death threats, hatred, and vitriol. Say what you want to say about Michael Cohen, but last I checked, Donald Trump hasn't served a single day in jail versus Michael, who was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. Lawyers are a weapon of choice for Donald Trump. And without his stable of enabling lawyers, Trump wouldn't have anyone to give him the cover he so desperately needs for all of his courtroom battles. These lawyers give him some measure of purported credibility as they knowingly advance his alarming and unprecedented legal theories. They also serve the very dangerous purpose of normalizing Trump, as if he isn't a client who has already promised to be a dictator on day one, and as if he isn't a client who brazenly seeks absolute presidential immunity to be able to cross the line with impunity.